Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us for our first ever virtual CSU Service Awards. I'm Janelle Hughes, Chief Human Resources Officer. I'm honored to be with you on this very special occasion and look forward to a time when we can do this in person. But for today, we are virtually celebrating Cleveland State University's greatest asset, the extraordinary professionals like you who make CSU a premier public urban research university. We are in a great time of challenge and opportunity, and we appreciate all that each of you has done, especially during this past year, to move our university forward. You've demonstrated over and over your ability to be resourceful and innovative when dealing with the disruption caused by this pandemic. In instances too numerous to name, you continue to be agile, pivoting to solve problems, and not giving a second thought to going the extra mile. This year, we are honoring 139 employees in recognition of the service in 5-year increments. Our honorees include one faculty member, Professor Rick Perloff, who has been here at CSU for 40 years, and one staff member, CSU archivist Bill Becker, who has been here for 45 years. Their service is an incredible testament to the ongoing commitment to serving our students in a way that ensures their success. We recognize this has been an unusual year, and that's why it's so important we take time out now to let all of you know how much we value you and the work you are doing. It's been a privilege to work with you during the last year, and I'm looking forward to seeing you continue to do great things. A sentiment I know is shared by President Sands.
Thank you, Janelle, and thank you for your work in putting together our first virtual recognition ceremony. Collectively, the Service Award winners that we're honoring today represent a total of 2,500 years of service to Cleveland State. We're only 56 years old. Today we celebrate and recognize you, to each of you that works tirelessly every day to help us educate and support students and produce cutting-edge research. We thank you. And you're doing this during a very challenging time. I'm extremely proud of the way that our CSU team continues to come together in support of one another and keeps us focused on why we are here, to create an engaged learning experience that is unique and student-focused. Attracting, retaining, and developing top talent in every unit of the university is a cornerstone of our strategic priorities. And our drive to strengthen campus through our community emphasizes the importance of recognizing faculty and staff for their outstanding contributions to the vibrancy and vitality of Cleveland State. This is who we are. And this year, we are honoring 139 employees in recognition of service in 5-year increments, starting with a decade of service and going from there. As Janelle said, our honorees include Rich Perloff, who's been here at CSU for 40 years, and Bill Becker, who's been with us for 45 years. 45 years, can you believe it? That's what I call dedication. I was 13 when Bill Becker started. Sorry, Bill, not trying to embarrass you, but that's just awesome. 1976, the year Apple was formed by Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak, the first laser printer from IBM, and Rocky 1, I think we're up to Rocky 10 now. With the passage of time, no doubt much has changed here at CSU. But one thing's been a constant: our dedicated faculty and staff doing their very best, day in and day out, learning more each year about how to best serve our campus. Because of you, CSU is a place where students succeed, inspired by each of you to make a difference after they graduate and rise to the challenges facing our city, our nation, and our world. Because of you, CSU is a bustling hub of impactful research and scholarly activity where knowledge is created and shared with others. Because of you, we are who we are. So, on behalf of all of us at Cleveland State, we're grateful to each and every one of you for your service. Thank you for all you do, and thank you for all that you will continue to do for Cleveland State University.
I started working here on September 23rd, 1974. So I have been on campus basically for 50 years. I was a student and graduated, and I was just gone for one academic year, but I came back in September of '74, and I've been here ever since. The atmosphere around here is, looking at the college, if you look at it, it's entirely different from when I was a student. The campus was basically Fenn Tower, Stillwell Hall, which is now Fenn Hall. The new science building had just opened, and they had a number of modular buildings where the phys ed building is now. And they were called Modulux buildings. So the campus was really small at the time. There was a couple other buildings that were they had rented for classes, but you spend most of your time right around East 24th Street in Euclid. The archives is the record repository for the university. It's sort of like the memory, and records have a lifespan. There are some that are temporary. Could be just one of the old "why you were out" slips. We used to write out when somebody called and the person they called wasn't there. That had a lifespan of to return phone call, you threw it in the trash. Other things like the Board of Trustee minutes are things you want to keep. So you may have to make a distinction of the type of record it is. Is this something of permanent value for your institution, or is this something, okay, this was just one of the things we used in the daily operations, and then we can get rid of that after a certain period of time. So we become the repository for those permanent records. So if there's ever a need to refer to it, they can go back to refer to it. Plus, the benefit of it financially is everybody's not keeping their own records. You have the problem with storage space, so the people aren't being crowded out with filing cabinets of records they no longer have. They've created a storage space for this, so it's more economical for the university. I had the opportunity, working here, to really create the system itself. I was the first person hired who had archival training. My two predecessors, George Simon and Professor Jordan, both were former faculty members who had retired but were taking the job part-time. So I basically had the ability to create this system, create my own archives using professional standards, but and the librarians who I was under the library basically left me alone. So I was able to do all different aspects of the job. And so what was nice about it was I set my own schedule. If I wanted to do something else, I could do that for a while and come back to the other jobs. So I had the freedom of choosing what I was doing at any one time.
I grew up in West Lafayette, Indiana, famously called the hotbed of student rest during the 1960s, and was glad to leave there. I got my BA at Michigan, where I was one of the editors of the Michigan Daily, got a master's at Pitt, PhD at Wisconsin, and then I did a postdoctoral fellowship, last one, at Ohio State, where I have my office in the football stadium, very appropriate. And I came here as a visiting assistant prof in 1979. You know, it's one of those frustrating things. I wanted to be a reporter, that wasn't working out, was a Vista volunteer, was not perfectly ideal, and was talking with some people, and, why don't you go into communication? It was like a new field then, no one thought of it, nonverbal. And all of a sudden, I liked school a little bit when I was an undergraduate, wasn't crazy about it, I was a good enough student, and all of a sudden, just the theories, the ideas, the concepts, the idea of doing armchair stuff and research, it just was great. And so I went from one thing to the other and decided to stay in academia. I didn't come here thinking much of teaching. It was like, you come here, you got to do your research and publish. And it was not for many years that I really got into the teaching, but the teaching is really one of the most effervescent joys I have. I love that teaching. I've worked with students. I've had projects. We've done a couple of summer projects with students. I'm trying to do one this summer. I've had loads of graduate students, but just getting in front of the class and trying to invite them to your world and have them enjoy. And one of the things I found with students was that, at first I was trying to conform and be kind of like cool and trying to be kind of youthful and so forth. What I really found out it's really a matter of being kind. And it's a matter of empathy and goodwill and really showing students you care and you want to help them. And that is so important. And I've learned really that it's not about me up there. I must say that teaching has really given me a great perspective for how do people grow, problems people have, and what there is beside you that you can help people with, and how you can become a better, stronger, and a kinder person. I think Cleveland State, trite as it may sound, is a vital place. It's a great place to be here. It's a great place to be as a professor. I think we do a lot for the community. And in fact, that was something that, you come here at Cleveland State and you're like, okay, hadn't heard of Cleveland State, not sure about it. And then over the years, I think people who've been here develop a kind of a love affair with Cleveland State. You're building, you're shoring up, you're doing things you couldn't do, and you're really doing a lot of vital things to help people that you couldn't do somewhere else. And that, to me, is a contribution that I'm very proud of.